just a year earlier in Paris Match, and his name was Dr. Patrick Buey. He's a plastic surgeon at the American Hospital in Paris, who in that Paris Match feature, which was entitled Operation Young Again, replied to a question that he was asked, and he said, "Woman's flesh, ideal clay." Now, why was this a bombshell enclosure, or rather a threat that was made, a shot that was fired, if you will, to Brigitte Macron? Because in France, Patrick Buey is known most eminently for one thing: feminization surgery. He is the king of transgendered feminization surgery, to soften the face features. If you are a man trying to become a woman, it will soften your face features with feminization surgery. And if there was any question that was remaining in anyone's minds as to whether or not he was indeed being used by Brigitte Macron, they needed to just wait until 2023, because here's a picture of them together. Yeah. Years later, in 2023, Emmanuel Macron decided to award Dr. Patrick Buey with the French Legion of Honor, a high distinction in the French Republic. Imagine the medal, it's the Medal of Freedom in America. He's being awarded that. We're going to pause there because that is a lot of information for you to digest, information for you to unpack, and information for you to research. Again, we are at the very tip of the iceberg when it comes to this couple and the connections and the power that they have and how they were able to execute this farce in the public. What we will show you in the next episode is how the storyline begins falling apart. And we can bring up that timeline again, how this perfectly curated idea of Brigitte's background, absent any pictures, people started to go, wait a second, something's not right here. And it sort of begins with just a couple of pictures that are released of Brigitte Macron in those years when she was allegedly a pinup doll. And she didn't look anything like a pinup doll. And she wasn't wearing short skirts. She was wearing baggy suits. And no, it didn't seem like someone in which teenagers would be falling over themselves. Here she is right here. There she is in her teaching days. That's the hot pinup Claudia Schiffer-esque. And people began to go, wait a second, are we just being sold a bunch of lies? And the answer, of course, is going to be yes. But I want to first get into showing you the letter that we received yesterday from Brigitte Macron and Emmanuel Macron. But first, I am, before we read that letter in its entirety, going to throw it to one of our sponsors, Good Ranchers, who has stood by us from the very beginning. I absolutely love Good Ranchers. I don't know if you know this, but over 85% of the grass-fed beef in stores is imported, and that is because the country of origin labeling law was repealed in 2015. So now meat can be packaged here in the U.S. and earn a product of the USA label, even if it was born, raised, and harvested overseas. The truth is, much of the meat on the grocery store shelves is filled with things that you don't want: antibiotics, hormones, questionable origins, and even harmful seed oils. But GoodRanchers.com is changing the way to buy meat. Their meat is born, raised, and harvested right here in the USA, so you know exactly where it comes from. It's free from hidden additives, no antibiotics ever, no added hormones, and no seed oils. You can also check out the exclusive Candice Owens box with my hand-picked selections. Support my show, and you can directly support American ranchers by going to GoodRanchers.com/.